What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and you might be asking, why am I wearing a visor? I don't know, just really felt like it. I wanted to mix things up, and the reason I'm wearing it backwards is because no free marketing on my channel. So there's that. Anyways, I don't know, random, but wanted to start off with the intro. Really didn't have much to say, so we're gonna rock with the visor in this video. We'll play a 1-3 session at Encore again, and let's go into the hands, see how things go. Let's get right into them. So the first hand we get involved in, I have pocket jacks in the cutoff with 300 in front, which is the max that we are allowed to buy in for here. So 1-3 Encore, let's do it. Was one limper to me. I raised things up to $15. The big blind and limper calls. So we're gonna go three ways to a flop in position. 10-6-3 rainbow is the flop. Pretty great flop for jacks here, and when the limper donk bets $15, he's middle position, I guess, in this spot. I am probably going to play this a little more tricky, just letting him value himself here. It looks like it's 100% a protector bet, probably a 10x hand that doesn't feel too great about, so I'm just going to call, and the big blind calls as well. So we're going to go still three ways to a turn, not really afraid of a whole lot of turn cards. It's the 7. It makes the board a little bit more connected. It brings in a gutter ball, but realistically shouldn't change a whole lot. So when action checks to me, I'm going to go for value here, bet $50 here, and both players decide to make the call. So interesting. I expected at least one of them to fold, but I guess if they both have 10x, it's hard to fold to this bet. So we're going to go still three ways to the river. It's a 5. Once again, both players check to me. The 5, once again, like, I'm really not thinking it changes a whole lot. It brings in some draws and stuff and makes it really connected on the lower end of the spectrum. But regardless, I think I can get value from a 10 all the time here with my jacks. So I decided to bet really small. I fire the same bet of $50. The big blind thinks a little bit and makes the call, and the limper folds. So we show and take it down, go to value town with our jacks here. The next hand, we are back in the cutoff with queen jack of diamonds. The under the gun player opens up to 15. Middle position player calls. I decide to flat here with suited broadways, and the blinds call as well. So we're going to go multi-way in this pot here. Queen jack of diamonds, looking for a good flop. Flop comes ace, ace, 9 rainbow. Action checks all the way to me, and I think I could probably bet on this board a lot of the time, but considering that we're multi-way, there's so many like ace X's out there that could easily flat the $15. So I just check, take a free card, turns a queen. Action checks all the way back to me again. So I think I'm good here a lot of the time when no one bets. With a queen, gonna bet a little bit for value. I bet really small for $35. Small blind makes the call, and everyone else folds. At this point, the small blind play is probably the only player that has an ace in his range. I think, like, even the big blind, when it's checked to him again for a second time, you got to bet his ace, right? So I don't feel amazing, but I think I have a lot of showdowns. So river's a 5. He checks. Like I said, for all those reasons, I check it back. I think like the old me would absolutely bet this board, but I check it back, and he shows ace-10 offsuit. So great check back by me. I'm really happy about it. It shows that I am kind of learning something along the way. Following hand after that, I have 6-7 of clubs on the button here. The under the gun player limps. Cutoff raises to $10. Super small. Not going to play my suited connectors here in position like that, so I 3-bet to $30 and folds all the way back to him, and he makes the call. So we're going to heads up to a flop of ace high, ace 9 deuce, 2 hearts out there. Pretty good flop for me to c-bet on, obviously, especially when I 3-bet and in position. So he checks to me. I bet $35, hoping for a fold here. Probably going to give up a lot of the time, but he makes the call. So not really what I like to see. Probably going to shut down on any run out, really, to be honest. Turns a 5 of hearts, though. So interesting, because maybe I can start repping flushes. I don't know, but he checks to me again, and I'm going to bet $75 just for a stone cold bluff. Absolutely zero equity bluff here, and he thinks for just like maybe 10 seconds and raises to $200. It's a snap fold on my end. It's unfortunate. I just punted away $75, but I took a stab at it. I tried, but didn't work out. Following hand, I am in the hijack, and I look down at pocket aces. I open it up to $15, and we get two callers, the button and the small blind. Button here is a really big stack and easily covers me by like probably 8x. I don't know, by a lot. But let's go three ways to a flop of Jack, Jack, Ace. Cool. Flop the nuts, basically. I'm calling it the nuts. So action checks to me. No reason to bet on this board at all, I don't think. So I check. Turn is a 9. Once again, like, you know, got to go for value at some point when it checks to me, right? So I bet like a normal sizing, I guess, $25. The button thinks for a little bit and makes the call, and the small blind folds. So we're going to go heads up to a river, hopefully just trying to get two straight to value somehow. The river is a 3 of diamonds, so an absolute brick. He checks to me. I can go for really slim value with a smaller bet, but honestly, he has such a huge stack. I think he can call a really large bet sometimes, so I decided to size up and overbet the pot to 125. Trying to get a crying call, maybe a snap call from a jack or something like that, but he quickly lays it down and we don't get any more value. Next, we have ace-king offsuit in the cutoff. Middle position player raises it up to $10. Player on his left calls. I decide to raise it up to $40, and both players call. So I guess people just aren't really liking to hit the fold button here, but let's go three ways in the 3-bet pot of 9, 6, 3, 2 hearts out there. Action checks to me. I'm going to c-bet this really dry, low flop all the time. I bet $75. The pre-flop raiser makes the call with only about 140-ish behind, so not a great spot when he calls, and the middle position player folds. So we're going to heads up to a flop, to a return, of an 8. Makes the board so much more connected, not the card I want, and also he's just so short that there's no way of bluffing him off this hand, so he checks it to me. I check it back. River is a 7. Action goes check, check once again, and he shows queen 9 suited for top pair. So not the best run out I could ask for, but shortly after that hand, we're in middle position with pocket jacks again. Early position player opens up to $10. He's the same player from last hand when I had ace king, and player on his right calls once again, and we're going to 3-bet for the 4th time. This is the 4th time I'm 3-betting this player within an hour, I think. So I know for a fact that I've been 3-betting him at a high consistency. So I'm going to be cautious and know that sometimes he's going to like open up his like nutted hands to $10 once again and beg for me to 3-bet. So I 3-bet with jacks on the stronger side here. And the button, action on the button, once again, he's the big stack here. He 4-bets to a sizing that I don't understand. It's $85. Basically a min 4-bet, and I really don't know what to do with it, but when Ashton's back in the pre-flop raiser early position, he decides to jam 381 total. Folds all the way back to me. It is very easy for me to fold now. Before, I thought I had a hard decision with the pre-flop raiser, the 4-better, but with the 5-bet shove, pocket jacks can easily fold here, so I lay it down. Button ends up tank folding here in this spot, and later in the night, we ended up talking. He said he had kings here, and he folded kings. Interesting, I guess. I don't think the 5-better had any bluffs, I guess. So, if he had kings, then so be it. I think that's probably a pretty good fold because he blocks a lot of combos of ace-king, obviously, and I don't think the specific player would 5-bet jam queens, so probably a good fold, to be honest with you, and that's just how that one went. It's just not really getting into really good spots with the cards I'm having. A few orbits later, we have king-queen offsuit on the button here. Under the gun, raises to $11. I decide to call, and the big blind calls as well, so let's go three ways to a flop of jack 10, 5, 2 spades out there. Under the gun leads for $15. With my open ender here and I block 0 spade draws, I decide to raise it up to $45. The big blind gets out of the way and the under the gun player decides to make the call. So we're going to go heads up to a turn, which is the 4 of spades, completes the flush draw. He checks to me and I decide to bet really small for absolutely no reason. I'll be honest with you. I could not. I mean, I just really want to rep the flush. I want to rep a set. I want to rep something with value. Just make him think, I guess, which is the only reason why I made such a small bet of $55. He thinks for quite some time and makes the call. So once again, we're going to go heads up to the river. I got a triple barrel here on any card. River is a 3 of clubs, absolute brick. He checks to me once again. I really did not think about the sizing I wanted to throw out there. I just grabbed some chips, looked at it, and just threw it out. Probably not good when you're bluffing. You really want to act like you know what you're doing at least. So I bet $150. He goes into the tank for quite some time. My line really doesn't make too much sense because even if I'm so strong, like why would I bet so big? I don't know. I think I played this really poorly because he calls with queen jack offsuit. He didn't have a spade either, which is just tough. I don't know. I mean, like looking back on it, the fact that I don't have any reason as to why I made the bets that I did is really bad. But I mean, I still think it's a really tough call for queen jack, and it's unfortunate that he made that call there. For the next few orbits, I'm card dead. There's only 2 hands that I wanted to talk about, and both they're pocket jacks, both in 3-bet pots, and both flops not great. First hand with pocket jacks, flop comes king, queen, queen. I actually ended up winning this one, but still not a good flop. Just want to talk about it. The second flop came ace, king, 10. So, like, yeah, we're going to give up on that flop. So, really not running well for the next, like, 2-3 hours. And then we go into the next few hands. I'm in the hijack. I've chipped up because I've somehow found a way to win, / I just added on a bunch and no one really noticed because I guess some dealers are new and you know, they don't really know that it's a 300 max. So I chipped up, kind of, and the undergun player opened it up to $10, undergun plus 2. So I decide to make the call. The small blind ends up 3-betting to $50, and undergun plus 2 player calls, and I think I just kind of have to call here. I'm in position, and both players' stack sizes are pretty similar to mine, so if I do hit my set, then there's a lot of value to be made, assuming that at least one of them is really strong. So we're going to call as well, and let's go 3 ways to a flop of jack 8-5, 2 clubs. Action checks to me, which is something I really didn't expect. I didn't know what was going on when it checked to me, but I decided to check. Obviously, there's nothing I can do with my 3s here, and I'm beat like all the time. Turn is a king of spades. And action, weird enough, checks it to me again. So given this opportunity, like, yeah, I of course I'm going to bet on this when they both check it to me twice. So I take a stab and bet $75, and both just really quickly fold. So I don't know, someone was on pocket 10s, maybe ace queen. That's about it, but I'll take it down. After that hand, I have ace-10 suited in the big blind, and we're playing 7-handed. Love it when the table gets a little short. So button and small blind limp to me. Great. I get to play my hand. I raise things up to $20, and both end up making the call. So let's go 3 ways to a flop of deuce, 4, 5, 2 spades. Action checks to me, 2 overs, and the nut flush draw, and some backdoor straights, I guess. I'm really loving this spot, so I bet $35. The button ends up raising the 75. Action's onto me as the small blind folds, and he's a relatively new player, and he's actually pretty short and only has about like $36 behind. So obviously we're getting it in on any card, on any run out, obviously. So interesting line I decided to take here. I just decided to just flat here, leaving him 36 behind. I mean, yeah, it's an easy jam, but this time I just wanted him to put the money in, I guess. I don't know. Turn to 4. He jams $36. What am I going to do, right? I obviously snap call that. The river is a 7 of diamonds. Got ace high here. Not really good ever. He shows jack 7 of spades. So that's how he wins that one. So that's unfortunate, but got to give it to him. He hit his cards. The last hand we go over, I have ace queen offsuit in middle position. I open up to $15. Actions onto the small blind, who 3-bets to $50. I've seen him 3-bet with ace jack offsuit before, and I mean, he's been playing fairly standard. He hasn't gotten a whole lot out of line besides that one hand, but with ace, queen, offsuits, I'm in position is the one thing, but still, I think I can 4-bet this a lot of the time, given the fact that a lot of low-stake players never 4-bet. So I 4-bet to 155, and he thinks for a little bit, reaches for some chips, and decides to basically jam, covering me. I am so done with this hand. I just lit an extra $140 on fire, but yeah, I snap fold, and we chose a terrible time to 4-bet him. This session didn't go as planned. It is currently 3:30, 4 a.m., and played for a little longer than I really planned on and wanted to, but here we are. I was in the game for 750, out of the game for 333, so loss of like 420-ish, something like that. Just not great. I don't know, just not running well this month at all, and I'm probably going to talk about like why probably the title of this video is like Amidst a downswing. Like realistically, I'm not in a downswing, but it just feels like I am, because one, I haven't been playing poker for very long at all, and me losing like 3, 4, 5 sessions consecutively in a row is unfortunate, but it just seems like I'm just getting into these spots where I can't win. Like, I'm not making the correct folds. I'll tell you that. I'm absolutely not making the folds that I need to make to be a better player. But I'll talk more about that, I guess, when I am home. But for now, that is the results of this video and this session. Not great. Not great at all. Made it this far into the video. It's a Cavendish visor. All right, I got it for free. I'm gonna wear this frontwards now because I think I look even more ridiculous with my hair out here. But regardless, this is just like end of the video, like random nonsense. But I'm talking about the downswing. I have played, so it's not really a downswing. All right, I understand that. But to my very short, naive, innocent poker career, right, 5 sessions in a row or 4 or 5 sessions in a row that I've played and losing is something I'm really not used to at all, especially to the magnitude of it, where the first 2 were at 2.5, so obviously more variance, higher amount of money that I'm losing in terms of buy-ins and stuff, so comparatively not a lot, but personally it just wasn't feeling great, just running into spots where I need to fold, and I just couldn't make the fold sometimes, and not running great in general. Like, overall, I was super frustrated for having 4 consecutive sessions not cashing, because it's not a thing I'm used to. Honestly, like, you guys have seen my channel, I run really well for the most part. And when I was making that video, I was stuck 2,000 in 5 sessions, 4 or 5 sessions in July. The first 2 weeks of July, I played 5 sessions, stuck, lost all of them. I wasn't feeling great, and since Encore opened up, I'm stuck 2,300, which isn't good. Like, it's not bad. It's not like a whole lot of money, but in terms of like my lack of having a proper bankroll for playing these games, especially since I'm just a graduated college student, like, it's a struggle, and I expect to win all the time, which is an issue. It's a thing that I have where, like, if I'm gonna go play poker and take it seriously, I want to win 100% of the time, never lose, because that's just the way it is. I know that's just not how the game is. So I take everything really personally. I take the losses very, very personally, and the wins come as they go, and I just kind of take it for what it is. So, like, I understand, like, during my mental state, just super frustrated, and I know, like, looking back on it, like, I just have to play better and understand that, like, at the end, I'm obviously going to win long term. I think I've established that I'm a long-term winning player, considering, like, how I am so far. I averaged about $30 an hour playing 1-2 at MGM Springfield, so it's not too bad. I think I've established that I can win at the lower stakes. Moving up is a transition, something I have to get used to, and one I just need the bankroll for, which I don't. So I'm probably going to move back to 1-3, play that consistently. Next video is going to be the beginning of my bankroll challenge. I will introduce that whole thing with you guys. But anyways, just wanted to talk a little bit about, like, where my thought was, and also just, my ridiculous hair in this visor that I will never wear ever again, probably. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and look out for the next videos in the future. I really appreciate all the support in the channel so far. We hit 5,000 subscribers. That's awesome. So thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.